Nice to meet you. How did you find me?
Hello, 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 can you hear me, guys? Yo, as always, we're fighting against the sound, but I think this is okay. So it's always tricky to have my mic just out of the frame. I'll get rid of the start screen. Okay, the microphone is just out of the frame. I'm somewhat too. But I think this is okay. Yeah. Maybe I can move it a tiny bit closer. But you guys need to let me know if that is okay, as always. Yeah, so I typically set up my camera that I have for filming all the YouTube stuff. Oh, I didn't get rid of the tiny symbols here and here, but you will just have to ignore those. Yeah, so I set that up for streaming, and I don't have any time this month for anything. Let's see, I'm hearing myself somewhere. Oh, it's on Twitch. Okay. Yeah, so again, let me know if I'm too silent. Okay, sounds good. And if the music is quiet enough, I think we might have to go. Actually, I'm gonna do that in the program. Okay, we're almost done, I promise. It's always the same. Yeah, I don't know why it's always so tricky to set everything up and be on time and stuff, but the one thing that happened, so I have an explanation for what happened this time. Let's see, let's get this set up. We have to move the table higher. Yeah, so I was all set up for starting to paint on time.
How did you find me?
But then I realized I had an assault marine prepared, and the way I want to paint this marine wouldn't have worked because it's an assault marine. So, and I want to do a blood angel in Grimdark style, and of course I would have had to do a helmet for this one. So, you know, we know how that turned out the last time. So we're going to do this Let me just set up the lights properly. Okay, I think we're good to go. Yeah, we don't want to cause any trouble, you know. Don't want to cause any people heart attacks and stuff like that, because it's not the appropriate helmet color. Yeah, let's see. Is this? Yeah, so let's put this out of frame. And I have my magnifying glasses somewhere. Okay, here they are. So, what's up everybody? Let's see. Lower the background music. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might do. Geez, I think I might turn up. No, it's filters. I might turn up my.
How did you find me?
That's the microphone. Why is this not working? Filters. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn up the gain on this one. Testing, 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 testing. I think that's good. So that way you could. Oh, that's blowing out your ears probably. That way you can turn me down a bit, and then the music is going to be turned down too. Testing. What's your opinion on oil and enamel paints? How to put that? It's so you've heard me say that before. That I just prefer acrylics, not because they're better or worse, but because they suit the way that I paint a lot more. I don't want to use technical paints, and I would call oils and enamel paint technical paints, because it's a different way to paint with them. It's not necessarily a bad way or anything like that, right? Don't get me wrong. It just doesn't suit my personal painting style. So I don't like them, but that's not because they're bad or anything. They just don't suit me as well, or my painting style. So yeah, if you're fine with the approach and how the style works and how the results look and all of that, then go for it. As with almost anything in miniature painting, you just gotta find out what you prefer. Okay, let me quickly go through all the messages, and if I missed any questions. What am I having for lunch? I just stuffed my face with whatever I could find. Chicken tendies. It's the wrong channel, dude. Wrong channel. Hey guys, hello everybody. Oh yeah, before we start, could you do me a favor, guys, and just press the like button down here? Oh well, it's actually, no, it's over there. Over there or down there, I don't know. Yeah, just please do me that favor and press the like button. It's helping so much to get, you know, this covered when you're live streaming, because apparently not that many people are live streaming, and whenever there's like one thing that's really liked, you know, then that's helping. So if you could do me that favor, that would be pretty awesome. I'm just trying to grow my subscriber numbers on YouTube, you know, and that seems to be a good way. So I want to subscribe again on Patreon. Should I do that, or is it better? No, for you it's going to be better to subscribe on Patreon. For me it doesn't matter so much, but for you it's going to be better, because I cannot do everything that I want to do or that I can do with Patreon. I cannot do that on YouTube. So if you want to support me and all that stuff, Patreon is the best way. You know, I just have I thought about getting rid of the YouTube thing, but there is still people that don't like Patreon, so and they still want to support me, and they will still get the videos and all that stuff, but I cannot do everything that I want to do with Patreon. But you know, they also get access to the Discord, but just some features that just don't work with YouTube members. So yeah, for you it's always better to follow on Patreon to get all the the perks and benefits. The mic is very loud. Is it still loud? I can turn it back a bit. Turning it back. Testing. Testing. I think it's okay now. Hey Stinger, hey Chuhan. To the question, do you read comments from YouTube off Twitch? What? I read both. I can hear clearly, that's good. You cannot tell me what to do? Okay. Calm down. How do I combat tight lines coffee staining? So there's a couple of ways to do that. And I'm going to start painting this guy. So one thing that I'm having a problem with here, obviously, is that there's a bit of blue still shining through. So I'll just quickly go over the whole thing. And I'm going to... Okay, now the microphone is in the way. Maybe this is better. Yeah, I'm just quickly... Okay, that's bad. Quickly going to...
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Welcome Ketzer80, what's up? Thanks a lot for subscribing on YouTube. Oh yeah, of course, if you're new to the channel and you want to ask a question on YouTube and stuff like that, you have to be a subscriber. Because you know, I'm super desperate for subscribers, I will not lie. Yeah, it's been... Even when I'm uploading stuff, I always lose subscribers instead of gaining some, so kind of weird, but it is what it is. Guess that's how YouTube works. Yeah. So again, if you want to help me out, please like the live stream. It's going to help with getting discovered. You know, YouTube wants to recommend the stream to others more if you like the stuff. Or I like the stream if you like the stream. So I feel like I didn't answer a question. Oh, tight lines coffee staining. Yeah, so a couple of ways. So the first one is to depending on what you're doing, right? It's kind of tricky because it's gonna be a little different if you're using like regular paints for glazing or if you're using a wash. If you're using a wash, then just a tiny bit of just something that breaks the surface tension is going to be good. So just a bit of dish soap. With regular paint, dish soap can work, but glaze medium is probably more effective just because it breaks the surface tension, like I said. And yeah, that's the number one thing to avoid coffee staining. Then you can, if it's like a wash or an ink, you can have a brush on standby that is just a damp brush, and you can fade out the edges, sort of like feathering. Then another thing that helps is you could use, instead of a wash, you can use contrast paint and contrast medium. It's not that prone to coffee staining. I actually talk about it in the video where I'm painting the Blood Bowl orcs. Yeah, I think that's the main parts. I'm pretty sure people in the chat will come up with other ideas that I missed. Congratulations on the move to doing this full time. Excellent videos. Thank you, Between the Bolter. Yeah, so this month it has been weird because I was on holidays, and whenever I go on holidays, it's hard to go or fit back into the working schedule that I impose on myself. So getting up early and getting work done and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to get back into the creative mood, I guess. And then on top of that, I was sick, or you know, feeling under the weather. I was not really having any, you know, I was not bedridden or anything, but I was just not in a good mood and feeling exhausted all the time. And I think it's because I stopped teaching in when was it? So the first week of July was the last school week here. I stopped teaching and then I jumped right into making the new videos. And I made a couple of them, and I did not really take a break after like working two years, you know, working full time, and not only full time at school, but also working full time content creation. Regardless, I was kind of burned out, I guess, or just exhausted, and I should have just taken a breather, like a month off, and just paused the Patreon and stuff like that. And just taken off some time, and then started with the content creation. But I was just eager to start. I just was probably a tiny bit too exhausted. So I need to take it slow for maybe this month and the next one, and then I'm going to try and catch up on everything. But my body just needed it. Just needed a bit of a breather. I would love to see you on Twitch. You can go to my channel on Twitch and watch from there if you want to. You mentioned wiping most of moisture off the brush on a paper towel. How do you avoid paint drying out on the bristles? You're probably using a wrong brush, or the wrong brush. Like here, this super large one. There's no way that this paint is going to dry out anytime soon, right? And if you, of course, you don't want to paint miniatures with a huge brush like this. But what you want to do is you want to pick up a brush that still has a relatively large reservoir, like this, and the fine tip. And the best brushes that I found are the Raphael brushes, Raphael 8404. I use a size 1 for most of the 28 and 32mm stuff, and I use a size 2 for busts. But you know, size 1 is what you're going to use for the small scales. And you are going to clean that. I think we're good actually. Yeah,
Nice
so
to meet you.
You know, when you're getting rid, like, I don't know, can you see that? Like I'm getting rid of all the moisture in here, right? So this is the large brush still, but now there's no excess water in there, and if I had paint on it, it would still leave paint, you know. I can still paint with this, but you're not having the excess water. So yeah, and the reservoir is going to help you with that. So there's going to be paint in there, and it's going to be sucked down to the tip, and that way you avoid the brush drying in. So while, for example, some people prefer to use short and small brushes like this, but it's how to say, it just commands a different painting style if you use these brushes. Yeah, if you use these brushes, you're just going to paint a little bit different. It doesn't mean that, you know, either one is better. I just like this one better because I can take my time and think about stuff. I don't have to, you know, pick up paint constantly, but I can paint, think, paint, you know, you get the idea. I do wipe most of my paint, especially when glazing, but my brushes last 2 months. But that's a different issue, right? Oh, how do you avoid paint drying out on the bristles? I mean, obviously you gotta clean your brush regularly, right? And I also make sure that I clean the brush thoroughly after each session. So you need some soap to clean the brush. And yeah, just take a bit of care. And then again, using good brush like the Raphaels, they're going to last you longer. I was out of work for some time, so I decided to try commission painting as well as painting minis to sell on Etsy. It's going really well. My only problem is that I have a normal job again and less time for painting. Yeah, you gotta make a decision there, I think. Okay, let me just kill the microphone for a second so I can blow dry this paint so that we can move on to the next step. I found one more recess that's not covered, so up here. That needs a bit of black. I never really been in an art class. How can I begin to study artists and I work and incorporate other art styles into my own? So I don't know if you're talking about, are you talking about how to study other miniature painters or study other artists, as in 2D artists? Honestly, I would not think too much about it and just look at just look at whatever art you find inspiring, and don't think about it as an academic endeavor where there's, you know, a certain way to do it. Just try to find your own way with incorporating inspiring things into your art. You can start, you know, taking pictures outside and just using those as reference pictures and then trying to mimic that. It's really just try to find out what idea it is or what you are seeing that's inspiring you, and try to distill it down to how, you know, what is the essence of that thing. Like, I don't know, if you're looking at patina on a bronze statue, on a brass statue or whatever, try to analyze where it accumulates and what the color is, and then try to replicate these more singular steps on the miniature. I don't know how else to put it, but I think that's a good analogy. Is it better for you to wait? Is it better for us to watch? I mean, so the main thing is always YouTube, right? Because that's where I upload the videos and stuff like that. But it's whatever's best for you, honestly. I'm happy, you know, with people watching wherever. But yeah, so you don't need to study art or anything. Just try to be perceptive and try to perceive what the thing is that inspires you, and then just try to work that into your interpretation of things. Let's see, I want to try, actually, I think there's a filter for the microphone that should sync up my video and my audio, because it's not synced, but I don't know. no, I added some weird plugin. No, remove that. Yes. Close. Okay. Properties. No. Advanced properties. Sorry, I feel like it's really irritating. Oh, sync offset. Okay. So I need a sync offset for the microphone. Okay, and a couple of milliseconds maybe. Is this any better? Is this any better? Is this any better? Testing. It's like maybe a third of a second. Microphone. Yeah, so this should be better. Let me know if this is better. Testing, testing, blah blah blah. Thanks a lot, Moneta, for gifting a sub. Thank you, thank you. Right. Okay. Did you airbrush or paint brush on the primer? I used a Raphael can. I'm fine with the Raphael cans, you know. The only thing that has been, or why I think I should maybe start using spray-on primer, as in airbrush primer, is because this is satin, and I should probably rather use I should probably use. Oh, this is not working. It's better. I should probably use a matte primer instead, because I really like the, you know, incorporating the black into the first layers of color. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that water, and then we're ready to go. Sorry, that was really dragged out beginning of the stream. Yes, so if you just arrived, again, if you could do me a favor, just like the stream on YouTube, you know, just hit the thumbs up button, that way it should get recommended to a lot more people, and that helps a ton. Okay, so I'm going to paint a blood angel, and I'm going to do it in a grimdark style. And I don't want to, again, I don't want to use any enamels or oil washes, simply because it fits my style a bit better. And to do that, I'm going to start with a dark brown. Dark brown over black. And of course you could just airbrush it, but the application by brush allows for a bit more of how would you call that? It's a bit more versatile doing it with a brush. So I can leave dark spots. I can cover the area twice or just once, and so on. Another thing that I want to try is to apply everything with a sponge. So let's see, do I have another sponge? Let's see how that works instead. So I don't know if that's going to work right away, but just taking a sponge like this, and it's probably not that good of an idea to do it for the base color.
Nice to meet you.
But So what I want to do later is, yeah, it's going to, you can see maybe that the color is not really sticking that good on the base coat because it's a bit too shiny. So you know, I will need a brush for the first layers, and then for the next layers we're also going to try the sponge approach, but only if we're just going to try it and we're going to see which is better, which I like better. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover all of this in brown. And then I think, yeah, I think I also want a bit of black to shine through, but I'm going to do that afterwards again by applying black on the areas I want really dark. So any of the chipped parts, I guess. So yeah. And maybe I'm just going to do like a very small layer on these more exposed edges. YouTube has 10-second lag. Yeah, that is what it is.
Nice to meet you.
What's the ratio of paint to water to create glazes? Yeah, I mean, there is not just one glaze, right? Sometimes you want the glaze to be more opaque, and then you don't want it to be that opaque. But I mean, you will have to find out yourself. I cannot tell you this is always the best way to mix your glaze, because it's going to be different for a bright color, it's going to be different for a dark color. It's annoying because that is really a thing that, you know, it's kind of difficult to teach, and it's not that difficult to teach it in real life, but it's super difficult in any video format. And that's why I always try, whenever I have it on video, you know, I always try to show you, okay, look, this is, in this situation, this is kind of what you want to do. And in another situation, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be different. So, yeah. There's not, you know, there's never, contrary to belief, it's not, how to say, there's not, especially if you want to, you know, learn how to paint and be able to react to different situations and not just repeat recipes, then you gotta realize that there's not a set of techniques, and you're going to use technique 1 in this situation, and it's always going to be the same in every, you know, similar situation. Yeah, you kind of gotta let go of these thinking in techniques and just instead think about what does my color consistency have to be here, and how much water do I need to add, and so on. But you kind of need to realize, okay, what does the situation ask for? You know, what is needed in this situation. It's really not difficult, but it's difficult to explain and to show, unfortunately. Right, it's kind of tricky. I think you can see it. How long do you think it takes heavy metal guys to paint the Space Marine? I'm trying to replicate one. I've already spent 12 hours on it. Yeah, so the obviously there is the heavy metal approach, as in, you know, people painting the box arts for characters and stuff like that, and then there is another approach to painting rank and file minis. So I'm guessing the rank and file are definitely not taking as long as the others, but I would say they're investing quite some time into the ones that are supposed to look really good. yeah, there's because they still want to work really neatly, and if you see them paint, there's like one of them, or you know, that used to paint for the heavy metal team, called Infernal Brush, I want to say. That's his name on YouTube. If you watch what he does, he's really meticulous with his layers and the blendings and all of that. So yeah, maybe go check that out, check him out, and it's going to give you a good reference. I feel like I should not be using my good brush for this. Let's see. Do I have the worst brush here? I think that one is okay. Sorry, off camera. What did you teach before? Biology and psychology and science. Oh, I'm way behind on chat again. In Spain, it's possible to find Raphael brushes. I'm guessing it's going to be harder to find anywhere in the world because there's so many people using them. And then you have a general shortage of everything with COVID and so on. But I mean, they are the best brushes. It is what it, well, you know, best brushes, it's always relative, but for me, they are the best brushes. And I would say for most beginners, they're the best brushes. Of course, you can get like Rublev brushes, but for me, that shipping is really expensive, so I get like 2 brushes. And I pay like 5 times the amount these brushes cost in shipping, but yeah. So with the Raphael brushes, I know what I'm getting into, and I can just recommend them to people if they want to change their painting into a more, yeah, like I said, painting with a reservoir and stuff like that. Okay, so I feel like a spottier finish is fine. It's a bit tricky to film this because I have to go all over the place. Vince has a great video on glazes. I mean, I have a video on glazes too, right? Where I compare layering and glazing. And yeah, obviously I'm showing a couple of different colors to glaze with. But whenever you watch a video, it's you're going to kind of know how to do it for this color, but then you use another color and it's changing again. It's, yeah, people always want the shortcuts, and okay, no, that's unrelated. That's totally unrelated. But yeah, with the videos, I mean, it's good to learn glazing, in my opinion, and not use any shortcuts. But you will have to practice to find out the correct dilution. And I get that we all don't have that much time, or as much time as we want to get good at these things. And you know, it's always better to have a recipe and an explanation that is 100%, but for this particular thing, it just doesn't exist. The 100% perfect explanation for glazing does not exist, in my opinion. And yeah, unrelated, there's I've been doing the Necron video, and people are still, and I kind of feel like, you know, what am I doing? I'm just, you know, dabbing on paint like this, and I'm leaving out the dark areas with black, and then I'm adding 3 more layers, and people are still, and then I'm literally just slapping on paint, you know, just letting the green run into the recesses, and people still want a shortcut. And I'm like, okay, I mean, if you want your miniatures to somewhat look okay, sorry, that was worded completely wrong, and I didn't mean it that way. But if you want to improve your miniatures to a certain point, then the only way to do that is to invest the time and you know, to learn the things, and then it's going to go faster because now you know what you need to do and you're not thinking about what you're doing 3 times and so on, or you know, for half an hour, and you're just doing it, and then it's going to be speedier and faster again anyway. So it's kind of frustrating if you're doing a really quick video already and people still want the shortcuts. But yeah, that was an unrelated statement, slightly related maybe. I took a trip to Vienna and I saw your Imperial Fists painting. Oh, in the games, sorry, in the Games Workshop store. What color do you recommend for a beginner in every method and style? Yellow is a... I mean, I'm not sure I can answer that. What color do I recommend for yellow? I mean, you can use any yellow you like really, and I guess a beginner-friendly style would be to wash it in a color that you find interesting. So I don't know, for me Rakeland Flesh Shade always works as a yeah, color that shades yellow nicely. But I can't answer that question. What's a good beginner color? Yeah, I guess once you covered, so what is it referring to? Is it referring to how to apply the yellow? Cat is speaking to me. Yeah, caught your stream, nice. Thanks for all videos. I really appreciate what you have done for the painting community. Thank you. Thanks a lot. He never reads Twitch chat. That's not true. It's on my screen, just as the YouTube chat is. Hey, Gomezara. What primer do you use? Games Workshop primer. Are you planning any sculpting vids anytime soon? Yeah, the thing is I don't have the time, so it's planned, but I don't know. I don't get to do any sculpting at the moment. Yeah, just videos take a lot of time. It's, you know, I have to do the thing, you know, sculpt or paint whatever I want to do a video about and film it, and then I have to edit it, and yeah, I'm struggling with the content that I want to put out with the painting, so it's kind of tricky to also add sculpting videos at the moment. And then, you know, I'm not sure what to do with sculpting, because what sculpting videos are watched on YouTube, let's put it that way, it's the videos where someone kinda, you know, knows what it's doing, but it's amateurish at best with the sculpting, and they're doing characters of, I don't know, movies that come out and Marvel heroes and stuff like that, and it's not really all that great. It's just, you know, okay, you can recognize the character, but it's not something that would teach you how to sculpt. So, you know, obviously for as entertainment, that's nice, but it's not really an educational sculpting video. And I don't know, I don't want to just, you know, time lapse sculpt something that because it's popular. Yeah, so again, the videos that I want to make and the videos that are going to do well on YouTube are two different things, and it's just a time. Thanks for subscribing, Celsius. Thank you. It's a time issue. I can't invest a lot of time into videos that don't make any money, because, you know, who can do that? You know, no one can do that unless you won the lottery or Or we are already rich. If I didn't have to care about money, I would just do the videos that I want to do, but I can't always do that. Okay, I think we have a good coverage here. So again, hopefully you can see it. Oh no, we have a bit of blue here still. Oh no, okay, yeah, got to fix that. But down here there's a lot of blue still. I guess you can see it also. So let me just quickly fix that. Okay. Five work days, 40 hours if it's a character. Yeah, exactly. So. C-Trough paint makes me wish I have energy to paint now. Looking forward to work every day in the last 3 months. Damn. Yeah, so that was the same thing for me, right? When I was working full time, and then you know with the special rules that they had for teachers for the school system, everything just doubled in workload, and you were just working, I don't know, 70 hours per week. Or at least I was, with, you know, trying to put out content on top of that. Yeah, that's super exhausting, even if it's something that you really like. Yeah, I hope it's going to get better. How many minis would you paint for a Gimmichtüte? I don't know what that means. When adding water to mix your paints, do you just solely add it with a brush or use a dropper? I sometimes struggle getting the right consistency. Yeah, I just use the brush. It's, again, I don't use a ratio, so it would make sense to add, you know, 1 drop of water and 1 drop of paint, or 2 drops of water and 1 drop of paint if it made sense to do that. But you need to adapt the color and the mixture to what you want to achieve, and it's, you know, rarely is the solution to a problem use 4 drops of water and 1 drop of paint. I mean, I guess it would be possible to reverse engineer, but I just try to, you know, mix a consistency and test it on my thumb and then see, okay, that's going to work. Because it has opaqueness if I want it to be opaque, or it has transparency when I want transparency, and so on. And you know, other people are going to tell you, yeah, just use this. Okay, so here I'm using this. What did I want to say? Yeah, this. I'm an idiot. I have trouble finding words. Ratio, right? I have used this ratio, and it's going to somewhat work, but then you're going to try it, and then you're like, it doesn't quite work, because are your drops going to be the same size as this guy's? So, you know, ratios are never 100% solution, but you know, people are going to tell you otherwise, especially on YouTube. It looks synced from where I'm sitting. Okay. I have the same guy in front of me. So I don't know. This is actually, I kind of kit bashed it, right? It's the one from the box where there's like 3 intercessors, and then I took another arm. Okay, over here took another arm, and I also took another rifle. But yeah, it's really similar to the one from the box. If you just switched out this arm, it would probably look really similar.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Thank you, Bakur. I don't know how to pronounce it. Thanks a lot for joining the YouTube. But yeah, once again, guys, please, if you want to do me a favor, like the stream on YouTube. It's going to get new people in, because YouTube is like that. Okay, let's see. Just to switch out the music. Okay, more music. What's the theme for the little fellow you're painting? I'm going to do a blood angel, and we're going to move into the red right now. So I'm going to have to find. Okay, we have Mephiston red, and what else do we need? So we have some scarlet. I think I might start just using a mix of the two colors. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to mix yeah, just use a mix and then we will see if it works. My Legion. Skill 75 Prime is really massive if you haven't tried. Yeah, again, I have to find something. Is the stippling technique? Yeah, it kinda is, right? What's your opinion on oils and elements for Grimdark? Yeah, I said that in the beginning. You can achieve amazing results with acrylics only. Yeah, it requires a lot of work. It doesn't require that much of work, right? So if you just drench everything in oil paint and then wipe it off, you're still going to have to wait a day. And I know that you could do it with batch painting and stuff, but to me that's just, you know, I don't know, still takes a lot of time. But yeah, I don't mind you know, people using oil washes. It's fine. It's just not my style of painting, and I don't want to use technical paints and all of that. I explained it in the beginning. But yeah, if that's good for you, if it works for you, then that's nice, right? You found your way to do it. Other than that, I mean, again, people were kind of complaining, okay, this takes so long and blah blah blah, but I told every single one of them in the comments that if you want to speed it up, you know, try to speed up the initial process where you are going to apply the layers, and you can do that by just dry brushing or not being so careful, you know, because I left out the areas I wanted shaded. I left those out more meticulously. If you go over it with a dry brush and just leave whatever area out, you can do that. And because it's going to look chaotic and untidy, but that's the same thing you get with oils, right? You kind of can control where you wipe off the oils again, but it's still going to look untidy, and that's the effect you want to have. So just go in and dry brush and be less careful, and you're going to save time. It's, you know, how to say that, if you, every technique where you use a lot of speed, where you don't care about, you know, where the only thing where you care about is, where the only thing that you care about is time, is going to have a certain untidiness. And the only thing I did was using chaotic techniques, and I could use them a bit more in a controlled way, but you can still use them in a very chaotic way and speed things up, right? So that's a trade-off you have to decide for yourself. And I just kind of want to, with my miniatures, have a lot more control, but I never said, you know, all my videos are going to be 100% for army painters. I'm just presenting you with ideas that you can incorporate into your painting or not. So it's a bit frustrating if people, you know, if I throw that out there and people come and say, okay, how do I do this for an army? Because yeah, sure, you can do it for an army, but you know, just take less time. You do the exact same thing, just take less time and you're fine. But it's also not going to look like what I did. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try first with a brush, and I'm going to stipple on the reds here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave out the edges, at least some of them. So yeah, we want to create a bit of gradient. Okay, let's really focus here, sorry. so I think we might be able to get away with the mix. Then again. Yeah, so I'm just experimenting. Let's see how that goes. Do you have experience with the Pro Acrylic paints? They claim to have very high pigment counts, especially in the yellows and whites. No, I've not tried the yellow and the whites, so I don't know about that. But yeah, I heard good things about them, so.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Kishnam, thanks a lot for becoming a YouTube member, and thank you. Yeah, so let's try that. Some of these other shapes. Kind of confident that it will work. We might as well move quicker here. Again, I'm just, I can already hear people say this is taking too long. But what am I doing, right? I'm trying to find out if this technique works. And then if I know a certain thing works, I can just leave out the steps that didn't work and just do this. And my next one is going to be faster, right? So just experimenting with new things. How else are you going to find out new ideas? So yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find a pattern or an application of color that's going to look nice and that's going to leave a good pattern. And again, I kind of want the edges to be worn and have, a how would you call it, maybe a primer shine through.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Thanks a lot, Ivy, for joining the YouTube members.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Sinert's Miniature Painting, thanks a lot for joining the Patreon. Thank you, much appreciated. Brown Space Marine question mark. I just bought the entire line after testing them. Yeah, again, I think they're good paints. Most paints that are available today are really nice paints, except for Army Painter. I hate Army Painter. Sorry, Army Painter. Oops. Okay, yeah. Again, applying the paint on the inside of the panels mostly. Yeah, so this effect is what I'm after, right? So having the black still shine through a bit. That's what I'm really after. So basically a really spotty application of paint. Oops. Yeah, just need to open the door for my girlfriend, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I locked her out. And she wrote a comment in the comment section, and I only just now saw it. Wish I could wear magnifying headsets. I have 4 different pairs and can't use them because it messes with my eyes. Yeah, that sucks a bit. Because they are really, yeah, they are really helping, you know, especially as you get older. Okay, so let's do one leg in that style. And then let's do the other one with the sponge technique. Or sponge, well, technique. I don't know if you could call it technique. Death Company Intercessor. No, no, no. I feel 1 bottle of color will last me for for the pro acryls, yeah. Hey Borak, I'm liking my Vallejo paints I have at the moment, but some of them don't seem to mix well with others. One another, okay, interesting. What's the problem there? I give your eyes time to adjust. Yeah, it could be. Sorry, I still have my teams. I'm still in the teams from my school, even though I don't work there anymore. So sometimes it will have it pop up, or actually I can just call it. Or can I? Okay. I got the Squidmire set. Wait. Did you have a look at the Warhammer Plus Masterclass? Yes, I have. Do you have any particular question?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
AIRBRUSH, thanks a lot for joining the Patreon. Thanks a lot for the support. We're talking about brushes now? Got the Squidmire set before anyone else does the same. Don't bother, they're not that great. I mean, I love Squidmire. And I guess Miniac put it the best when he said it. I mean, put it the best. I said the same thing, but he said it last on the stream. He's not going to do any accessories for painting where good alternatives exist already, and with brushes you already have so many yeah, good you know, alternatives. You don't really need to create any product, because it's not going to be better, because you already have brushes that work for miniature painting and work pretty well. So yeah, that's my take on it too. Hey T, how do you get your paints to sit on your palette like water drops? Mine are added to heavy bodied or run everywhere. I don't know, I just put them on the palettes. Maybe it's because my I'm using baking paper and not any particular palette paper. That's maybe why. I don't know. Are you using palette paper or just baking paper? Okay. Okay, you can start to see the effect. Yeah, again, I'm curious as we go brighter how it's going to look. Lame colors are usually more matte than other, except scale 75, just grab a matte varnish. I think I read a question, sorry for that. I tried Raphael but didn't like them. I suggest the premium brush set from Green Stuff World. Are you sponsored by Green Stuff World? Well, yeah, again, I don't know the Green Stuff set. Yeah, Green Stuff World set, so I can't say anything against or for them. But you will have to find out which brushes you like and which work for you. And again, sometimes, you know, I always, or not always, but for the chipping on my Necron, for example, this is an old Raphael, by the way, ignore it. But yeah, for the chipping, I should have used this one sometimes because it's easier to, if you have smaller, how to say, yeah, the amplitude almost, because you know this brush can bend a lot wider than this one. That's a bit better for applying chipping. So you know, even though I say Raphael size 0, no, size 1 is my preferred brush for some other ways to apply paints, I also switch to other brushes. So yeah, you got to find out, unfortunately. That's another thing where I can, you know, be sure, rather sure that maybe, you know, 80% of people will like the Raphael brushes. There's going to be outliers that are not going to like them, and that's perfectly fine. Doesn't mean that they are wrong, it just means that we are all different. You watch any other painters online? I don't know, not really. So at least not the ones that are kind of mainstream, because you know a lot of painters online are more like entertainers. So in the YouTube sphere, you kind of gotta be entertaining to reach a lot of people. And I can't really learn much from entertainers with painting, you know. Sometimes I don't know, maybe Cult of Paint is a channel where I learned a thing or two that I haven't tried that way yet. On Twitch I like Miniatures Den because he knows how to paint. Yeah. So I'm a person that watches YouTube for educational purposes and not necessarily entertainment. But you know, that doesn't mean that that's the only way you should, or that's why you should watch YouTube, just to learn something. It's just personally, that's me, right, on YouTube. You have a full tutorial video on the Grimdark Necron on Patreon? Not yet. I haven't managed to edit it, but it's going to be there. It's going to be there at the end of September or at the beginning of October. I have a really busy month of September in front of me. But as fast as I can, it's going to be online. Like I say in that video, by the way. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so I think I might have to apply a couple of chips afterwards to bring out some of the darker parts again in some areas. Hey Hexneck, how's it going? If you don't want to glaze everything, then you can use it to blend transitions. What to recommend for yellow? Something not yellow? No, but for yellow you kind of want something that's orange as a shadow color, right? Or some people do the pink as an under color, as a shadow color. You don't want to shade yellow with a darker yellow. It's not necessarily going to work pretty good. Okay, why not try the sponging? I'm having a feeling that it's not going to make that much difference, but we can try. So we're going to use this sponge. Let's see, maybe we can. I mean, the problem is I want a bit of a mix of those two colors. Just a tiny bit brighter. Let's see. Going to have to not go over everything, or how to say, yeah, switch from area to area, so that I'm not taking away too much of what I applied already. So I'm going to, go from this area to this area. And the thing that's trickier is to stay in the areas that I want to cover. So here I covered a lot of the edges, which I don't necessarily want to do. So maybe we have to use a small sponge, or make the sponge smaller. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I guess this works. Kneecaps are always tricky because basically the top, the front of the kneecap is the part that chips, so the front is the edge in this case, or should be the edge in this case. I think this has something to it. Yeah, let me just catch up with chat.
Hello, cutie pie.
TT Combat, thanks a lot for the raid. Welcome everybody from TT Combat stream. Are you excited for the Tyranid releases whenever they will be? Yeah, if they kind of redesign how they're looking right now, then I'll be excited. I don't necessarily like the design right now, but I think it has to do with you have to be able to assemble them in a useful way. That makes it tricky to design really awesome looking Tyranids, I guess, but we'll see what they do. But yeah, so I like the concept of Tyranids as a race, but hey, oh, they're catching a fly. Yeah, but I'm not super excited about every design element that they have. Okay, so here on this larger surface I find it more interesting. Find it a bit less. I mean, yeah, so here I like it too. Maybe we'll do an initial pass with the sponge, and then I'm going to go over the areas with a brush where I want where I want more coverage. So yeah, again, this, didn't quite know how to start or which would be the best approach, so we're trying things out. You see here in the back? No, you can. Here. They're hunting a fly. I'm using a mix of game color and model color as a color match. Oh yeah, the game colors, I also really like them because the model colors are not as intense. The game colors have a bit more of an intensity. I have a few thoughts about ratios mixing. What is everybody's water out of the tap is different. If everyone starts using distilled water, that might help. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So just trying to minimize the variety. Yeah. What color scheme are you painting on this Space Marine? I'm just going to make it a rather dark Blood Angel. People use ratios wrong sometimes, and it bothers me when someone says mix a 1-to-1, but they're actually mixing to the middle color. I'm not sure what you mean there. Getting my first 40k miniature, a Plague Marine warrior for a kill team right now. Listening in is pretty relaxing. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Tan Ming. Lots of BA action with the new Angels of Death animations. Oh yeah, that's true. It's a good coincidence, right? Is this another full acrylics? Yes, 100%. Oh, you just answered. I cannot paint smooth white to save my life. So yeah, chalkiness is a thing. It's kind of hard to explain in a few words, but the idea behind it is that, oh, I really like that. It's almost like the salt technique, and I'm not referring to me always being salty. That's a technique in itself. We are almost like the salt technique, just in a more controlled way, or just in a way where I want the paint to go and want it to come off. But yeah, chalkiness, the problem is that white is always going to be super intense compared to whatever color you use below, and the pigment just covers a lot more, and if you apply it in a, I would say, in an uneven way, then the areas that didn't catch as much pigment are going to have the darker areas shine through, and then yeah, you're going to have chalky results where, so you gotta be careful with how fast you go brighter with whites or off-whites. Got to maybe mix an in-between layer still. Okay, so basically what we're creating now is the texture that I want, and then again, as I said, I'm going to go back. And yeah, fill out some areas that I want more intense. Again, the only thing I'm not super happy with here is that I'm covering the edges too much. I'm gonna have to redo that. I see now I understand what you're doing. Yeah, it took a while, right? But the brush, it wasn't that evident, but yeah, with this, that's looking pretty interesting, I gotta say. My cats are going crazy. They're trying to catch this fly, and they're doing stupid things. Almost like you're invincible in a computer game and you're just jumping down from everything, no matter how high it is. I don't think they're invincible, but they don't really know that. Okay, let me catch up on chat. I think we found a good approach. Just have to quote unquote correct a few things with the brush. Like again, I think here the effect got a bit lost. For Dorn, what magnifying glasses do you use? And just if you can. How am I always so far behind on chat? You can just get or go to a craft store or an electronics store. They usually have these really simple glasses. It should be like 10 to 15 bucks. They're for soldering, I guess. You know, small pallets. No, platine. Is that a thing? Is that a word in English? But yeah, they have them. And then if you can find any, you can always use my affiliate links below the video. Did you undercoat the whole thing with blue? No, with black. So the thing is, I don't know, it might be my camera, but whenever I use red, whenever I paint red, everything else gets a blue sheen, but you know, it's also the perception of, or you know, a cool color, and I guess black is kinda cool, right? It's definitely not a warm color, especially since it has this sheen. It doesn't really look like black anymore. It looks a bit more bluish, and it's going to look more blue if we're putting it next to a warm color, which is the red. So but yeah, sometimes it has the plastic blue shine through, but I think I covered everything, so it should be just this optical illusion. Try gloss varnish in your white. Yeah, could be, because it goes on a bit smoother. Wait, that's not the right one.
The most important thing is money.
Your style and thought process have really inspired me. Much love from an Australian pigment pusher.
Thanks a lot for the support. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, again, it's just in my opinion, it's so much fun to think outside of the box and not, you know, doing what everyone else does, because you can, I don't know, you can always fall back on these techniques if you don't like what you're doing, or you know, if you don't like what you're trying to do. But if you never try, then you never know. That's what they say. So I'm happy that you got inspired to try new things. Let's see, I'm going to be a bit less linear now, because I want to again experiment with a few yeah, with how far I can go brighter and so on, how fast I can go brighter. So down here we definitely, because we have good coverage in the middle, can do that. Cats are still on the hunt. Yeah, I think I might have to cut a smaller part. Let's see, if I cut this in half, it should actually be better. How dare he point that gun on us. Maybe this works better. It limits the area that touches, but that also means it's not leaving as much paint. Let's see how does the rest look. Kind of torn about if I'm like those ones. Yeah, I guess just like with everything, you just gotta find out how much to press down and how to hold the tool. I'm always out of focus today. Red Grass game palettes are great, but the paper is pretty crappy. Yeah, I have not tried it honestly because I just found my yeah, the way that works for me with the baking paper. So
The most important thing is money.
Good call, fellow Australian. Helping to motivate me to replace a destructive habit with a constructive one is worth a donation.
Oh Jesus, I need to get rid of the stupid German announcer because I have not understood anything. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Let's see. Good call, fellow Australian. Helping to motivate me to replace a destructive habit with a constructive one is worth a donation. Wait. Wait, what did you replace? What was the thing you had to change? Oh, music stopped. Music stopped. Let's try this. Totally digging stippling style. Was hesitant when I first saw you going that route. Yeah, I really like it. So, okay, let me do a few corrections. I know this is not super linear, but again, we're experimenting, and yeah, with experiments come non-linear routes. Okay, so I'm going to make this a bit more coherent, or you know, just so that I have a bigger area that I can cover with a brighter color here in the middle. Yeah, I think that's good. We can always just push this brighter area out a bit more with the brush. And so yeah, I think switching between the two is a good thing. instead of edge highlighting, the edges are darkest. I love this look. Yeah, it works pretty nicely, I think. We kind of gotta maybe think about how to increase the readability a bit, but we could maybe add, you know, in the dark areas, we could maybe add sort of like a steel highlight, maybe with a bit of metallics. Or we can go non-metallic, I don't know. Either would probably work. I don't know. It says electric. Electro. I'm not really feeling it. Sounds a bit more dramatic. Have you tried Sam Lentz? I enjoyed his video. No, I don't resonate with him particularly. No, he's a good painter and everything, but yeah, with some people who simply don't resonate. Sure, a lot of people hate me too, so. No, I obviously don't hate him, it's just not, I don't know how to describe that, but you have a certain personality of people that you would hang out with. I don't know, but you know, maybe it's totally different in real life, but on the videos I don't necessarily resonate. But yeah, I shouldn't say those things because then people that watch these other painters feel like I'm dissing them or anything. But I'm not. Again, it's just different personality. Any third parties that sell proxies, a bit that I like. I'm not super into proxies and all of that. So I simply don't know. Which chapter is this? Bloodangels. Yeah, we're trying for a Grimdark Bloodangels type. Scheme, and again this is experimenting a bit. So we're going to go back and forth a bit. Jeez, why am I always out of focus? Yeah, so for these areas, obviously I need to be a bit more precise. I need the brush. What consistency do you use for stippling? Depends on the color. So here I have the feeling of red not covering particularly well. So I mean, this is a pretty undiluted consistency, so it's somewhat right out of the bottle, I would say. But I would not necessarily. I mean, sure, it feels a bit like stippling, right? But what I'm doing is I'm trying to. I mean, let's not make it too complicated. But so here I'm stippling a bit more in a chaotic way for a more controlled stippling, where I wanted it to, you know, where maybe I'm doing some silk that's supposed to look really smooth but still sparkle, for example. I would probably not do that, because then
How did you find me?
I go with just the tip of the brush, and here you can see I'm using a really splayed brush that's not that good anymore. And here I'm actually fine if there's a variety in the way that, you know, the opacity is, not only the way it goes on, not only the shape that it leaves, but also the opacity can vary, so I'm fine with that. So I'm not too worried about a consistency. Which, if I would be painting more controlled, I would want to control the consistency a lot more. Yeah, so again, up here, I want the inside to be covered. So that we have, yeah, more of an opaque red here. Oops. Okay. Let's see, I want to tone down the edges up here a bit. So I'm going back with base color. I'm just working over it again. So yeah, I think this can be, you know, mixed and matched, as in whenever I feel like an area got too bright too fast, I can just go over it again with this. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. So, yeah, for example, here on these edges, or up here, right? So, sorry, I kind of felt like last time we didn't get any painting done, and I just answered questions, so kind of want to make up for that bit. I'm painting a bit more. I'm just trying to have a bit of progress, and then I'm going to try to catch up with the chat. Yeah, so just basically trying for more variety and trying to figure out where I want it really dark. Hey Squidmar, haven't made a final video yet? No. Easy money. 2 hours behind with the chat, yeah. More like half an hour, but still. What's up, Squidmar? Oh yeah, Octarion's box. Look what I arrived. Oh wow, it's kind of heavy. Well, yeah, I just got it. Where is it? Can you see it at all? You don't have to believe me. Oh yeah, here you can see. It just arrived. So, looking forward to painting a few Creek dudes. I'm just glad I ordered one because someone said, hey, you know what? Let's share a box because you only want the Creek. And I said, yeah, fine. And then when they came out, I contacted him again and I was just trying to ask, you know, do we still have a go for this deal? And he never wrote back. So I'm happy. I'm happy I ordered the box myself. Okay, let's not get too lost in the cleanup. I just wanted to know if it works. I suck at the sponge technique. It's either too wet and the patterns don't look like chips, or it's too dry and doesn't go on the model. Brush for life. Yeah, it's tricky. You have to, you know, you have to use the sponge. Put it down and then on a piece of paper. Well, a piece of paper I have. Yeah, just put it down, press it down, and see what patterns it leaves. Right, and once you like it, you take it to the miniature. So here, maybe this is starting to look okay. Yeah, so I still have a bit of variety if I press down. More or less. So that's when what you want to do before you have a go. Yep. Following both your YouTube channels and I love your tutorial, and it's making me more in love with miniatures. Yeah, there you go. It's always good to have, you know, more people in the sphere, or, you know, more people to learn from with different focuses. Foci? Say mix X with. But that blew my mind. There was too much math. How deep do you keep cat hair away from your painting? So far, I mean, I had one in the beginning, right? But so far, I don't. Maybe it takes like a year more for it to show up. I don't know. But so far, I didn't really have that problem. Okay. Yeah, let me catch up on chat. I started Custodes and decided to try to do a base of a black metallic on my and trims with P3 molten bronze. Tried to make it more grimdarkish. The black metal got green. I mean, maybe it's I don't know these colors, but if you're saying you use molten bronze, then that one is probably a warmer color. So you're perceiving the black metallic as a cooler color, which green would kind of fit into. Could be one thing. Hey, Mirror Packs. I used the snap ring pliers so you don't have to hold down the tweezers. Oh, I see, yeah. That's a good one, yeah. I think it's important to know the different techniques, but also to know what you like and have your own style. Exactly. Yeah, once again, guys, if you are just watching or just joined, make sure to please like the stream on YouTube. Apparently it helps a lot being discovered, so please, if you want to do me a favor. Hey Cigaro. The German voice is great. I don't know about that. I had to read it again. I'd say 20,000 in a few years is pretty expensive. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Oh, okay, I see. Sam is a really nice guy and great painter, but I don't view him as a good educator. Yeah, it might be that, right? There's just something off. I don't know, but I don't want to talk about that too much. It's just, to some people you connect and to some you don't, and it's not necessarily their fault. So my most productive sessions are when I smoke. Wait, okay. We can't talk about that. I get paranoid. Oh, you get paranoid, you will win the miniature. I see. Good day from Australia. Hey Dominic. The red and blue is gorgeous. There's no blue. There's no blue. Oh, maybe there is a. Is there a tiny bit of blue? But no, it's just the. Again, might be my camera, or it's just the shiny black primer looking blue. Reason glaze. Drawing painting. I have the same glasses. Yeah, they're pretty standard, like the minimums that you can have. Are we doing a reverse staining? Yeah, kinda. How was my vacation? It was good. It was the aftermath of the vacation that was a bit weird. I didn't feel good, and also I felt really unproductive. Psst, psst. Stop stealing my spruce. Thank you. His head was all the way down in my Indomitus box, and he was chewing on spruce. I use Master's brush cleaner. Exactly, yeah, I use that too. Leave some of the brush in shape and set it. Wash before next use. Yeah, that works pretty good. How's the full-time painting going? Is it looking like it could work out? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just need to focus a bit more on what's important and streamline a few things. Yeah. I also found out that I'm not really made for YouTube because I can't do the videos where it's like I need to take my time with videos. I can't do, or I'm not good at least with the release schedule thing, so I might have to rethink that and just put out videos when they're ready. But it's just so much better for, you know, when people know that there's something out or coming out from you, then they, you know, they're a bit more aware and they're coming back to the channel and so on. So I don't know, I still have to find a bit of a balance with that. And then of course I also want to do the super educational videos on Patreon, so I gotta find the balance still. Alright, so let's try this really bright color. Well, actually it's not the brightest color that I want to use. It's Mephiston red. Yeah. It's okay if we have a couple of these specks hitting the edges, but I don't want to do too much. Oh, that's why I'm not on camera. I use cheaper brushes, replace when bad, just water for cleaning. Recovering from a nasty flu, not that you will see this in the next 40 minutes. Wait, it only took me 9 minutes to see this. But yeah, I hope you're getting better soon. But yeah, I had the same thing. Kind of weird. I don't know how he gets so far behind. Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm trying to paint this time and it doesn't help. So I'm trying to, you know, I mean that's another thing. I don't know, right? Would you guys rather have just Q&A sessions? Would you prefer that, where it's more about talking, or do you want to actually see me paint something on the live streams? I don't know what would be better. Why am I off camera so much? I think I moved the camera, and I kind of have my spot where I'm, you know, the place where I'm looking at behind the miniature to align it with the camera. But I think I moved the camera, and now the spot is not good anymore. It's out of alignment. It looks like the Grimdark. It done opposite of standard painting. Edges are dark. I just feel like, you know, it looks a bit more. I wouldn't necessarily make it gospel or, you know, put it in absolutes that it's always done that way. But when this is more of a painting like you would weather scale models that way. So it's a bit more realistic, I would say, you know, while we are often doing a bit more of a comic-ish or rule of cool thing with regular painting, we're going for more realistic, or I do that at least with my Grimdark. I go for a bit more of a realistic approach, or credible approach, I guess. Now let's call it realistic, because credible can be a lot of things. But yeah, I'm going for more of how paint would chip in reality, and how it would weather, and how rust would creep in, and how it would wear off of the edges a bit more. And obviously you can't quite do that with edge highlighting, so I would put it that way. Yeah, so in some areas I really like it, in some areas I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Hey Goobertown, how's it going? Let me just find another song list. Have you ever tried reverse highlighting, starting with the brightest highlight and blending back until you get to the shadows? I mean, it's basically shading, right? But I don't... No, not necessarily. I mean, it's a valid thing, right? If you... I guess... I don't know. The thing is, I was trying to find a color, and I was going to say you could maybe do that with yellow, but you're not starting off of yellow, right? You're starting off of a, or no, sorry, you're going to push your yellow towards off-white, like ice yellow, or maybe some majority mix of white. It's kind of tricky to start off of that. You would have to almost start from white and do the first layering, shading down with the yellow you want as your midtone. But I mean, yeah, I can see it work regardless of the difficulties. How's it going, Goobertown? I'm interested to see how he will bring up the contrast on the edges. Yeah, so what I'm going to try to do is, you can see right now as light is catching on the edges, we get that readability, right? And I'm going to try to just mimic a bit of that. So I'm just going to go for, I don't know yet, maybe a blue-gray. Blue-gray can work, or I'm going to do metallics. It's kind of tricky because I want it to be coherent miniature, but I also want to try how metallics look. And on the other leg, I want to try how just a gray looks. Yeah. Bring the kitty on stream and everyone will like it instantly. How about you just believe me that there's a cat right here and you still like it? Yeah, okay, so yeah. I think the experiment worked, and now we just have to bring everything in line, I guess. So yeah, I have a pretty good idea about how to do this. How to continue. All the good boys in the same chat. I'm going to do some barbecue now. Now I'm jealous. How do people have their paints clump up like that in their wet palette? It's kind of interesting that some of those questions I get all the time, but again, it's probably because I use yeah, I don't use palette paper, but I use words come to me, come on, baking paper. Yeah, okay, so this is me being obsessive with wanting it exactly the way it should be, or wanting it exactly the way I figure it out, so, or I picture it rather. So you could just do the thing I did now and just move a bit faster before anyone says this is going to take forever, right? I'm just putting out a disclaimer. But that's just me going back in and cleaning things up, because I'm obsessed with making it the way I picture it in my mind. But yeah, I think even if you did this really quickly and just went over it just with the sponge and layered up maybe 2 or 3 layers, maybe 3 or 4 layers, that would look extremely good. Bye, Squidmar. Wait, now I'm 13 minutes behind again. How did that go? Oh, you ever checked out Infinity from Corvus Belly? Yes, I did. Back when it came out, I painted a lot of it, but yeah, I like it. I like them. I don't know why I stopped. To me, so Corvus Belly, Infinity is a bit more like historical figures because of their love of detail. So yeah, I guess I'm just a bit more into these how would you say them, like how would you compare 40k to Infinity? Yeah, Infinity again to me feels a lot more like more realistic historical miniatures, and 40k to me feels like that absurd comic-ish style, overblown. Okay, I need to do the face mask, I just realized. Maybe my sheets aren't great. I'm using army paint sweat palette. Yeah, I'm not super fond of anything army paint produces, so I don't know. Could be that, yeah. Just give you support from France. Hey, Blastword, thanks a lot. We want to see you talking and painting IRL. So both. Sculpting streams are ones I have enjoyed the most, but I do enjoy all sorts of content. Yeah, again, it's kind of tricky to do the sculpting on top of the painting and all of that. What do you mean my brush looks weird? It's perfectly fine. More interesting and engaging in the downtimes and no one has anything else to ask. Okay, I see. Q&A mixed with painting. I like this format. Okay. Both is good, we're just missing. Okay. Sometimes it's nice with a good Q&A session, but I love the painting stuff. I'm suffering through 1,700 points of Iron Hands. I need the motivation. Gotcha. I wonder if it wouldn't make sense to pre-record some painting and then answer question. Yeah, could be. I have a lot of footage.
How did you find me?
I have a lot of painting footage. Because I always record too much. I prefer seeing you paint and some information questions as the questions come along. Okay. You need an assistant that reads out the chat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be the best thing actually. Thanks for answering my questions. You're welcome, Joko. Is there a reason why you are not painting his color just yet? Yeah, because I forgot. What is it? What is it? Bloodangels thing type Space Marines. Need a little more paint. Simple Q&A would be better for views, maybe with a pre-recorded painting session. Oh yeah. Is it blood? Yes, it is blood. I see all these new cool techniques I want to try, but I already have 2 armies started. Perhaps that's the wrong one, but I can put that out too. Yeah, I get it. Again, that's why I don't do armies, because I would just be doing the same thing all the time, and that's kind of boring. I just, again, like with this one here, it was just fun to try a new thing and experiment with something new, and I always try to do something new with every miniature I paint, because otherwise it's boring, to me at least. By the time you read this, it will be far behind, but this is like, oh, I like this kind of hangout and chill Q&A session. Okay, I'm just hanging out and sneaking in a bit of Minecraft at the moment. I see, I see. Hey Zanjin. Baking paper, the baking paper that's shiny on one side and matte on the other. Yeah, that would probably be the optimum. So mine is, I'm not sure. So mine used to be different, and then the brand changed the formula. So I'm thinking mine is both sides. Mine has wax, not wax, but silicone, I think. Silicone. On both sides. But yeah, again, it still works. It's just not going to stay, you know, wet for 24 hours. So, or the paint on it is not going to last for 24 hours. But it doesn't have to. So for me, a palette just has to last the duration of a painting session. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm making this highlight color a bit wider, because I actually want it to be my mid-tone rather than the first highlight color. Because we're going to go brighter with this. Maybe not down here necessarily, but just in general. Watching this has been immensely inspirational and eye-opening. I want to get the same look with some desaturated green armor in my Steel Legion. So we'll try this same messy stippling thinking. Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. I want to do this with a lot of Marines I don't know, maybe, you know, I've been struggling to find a format that people watch on YouTube. So, I don't know. I'm just experimenting. And I mean, the only thing I know that people will watch is critiquing videos, but I don't want to become a one-type video Andy. That makes sense. So, I don't know. A good thing would be if I had a couple of different formats to yeah, circle through and to vary the content. But I mean, I can see myself. See, I don't know. I actually should focus here. So, because it's always good to have something that people know on your channel, and then they're like waiting for that, then they're more eager to click on it when it comes up again, you know, after maybe a month or so. Psst. My cats are being pests today. Runter. But yeah, so if, again, I like this the best. This is still the best result that we had as far as texture goes. But yeah. If this was like twice as big, I think it will work even better. You know, Warhammer had a bigger scale. And the effect would even be better, I think. That's okay. We'll take it. But yeah, I'm kind of figuring out, or thinking this would could probably be faster with chipping medium, chipping fluid. But I don't know. Again, to me, it's not that much about the result. It's more about having fun and figuring something out that also looks good in the end. I'm not stressed. You know, I don't have to finish a miniature in a certain amount of time. I really just paint for the fun of it. I'm figuring if I should maybe switch to brush that's better. Let's see. Yeah, so this is Scarlet. No, what is it? What's on Scarlet? I think. Wait, now we're out of focus again. Yeah, I think as we go brighter with this, it's going to look better. Even better, I guess. Grease-proof paper, yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, it's you don't necessarily need the pound paper to be waxless, or you know, over here it's silicone. Because again, I don't need the colors to, I mean, I use up most of the colors that are on the palette, right? Maybe not the black, but all the other colors I kind of used up and can just put them back in. And I also thought about it, sometimes you do a gradient, you mix a gradient on your palette, and then you kind of want to keep that, but I feel like, yeah, I figured out that my painting technique doesn't necessarily need that, or you know, the not technique but my way of painting doesn't necessarily need that. So I'm happy with this kind of paper. Can you be a bit more precise here? Yeah, everyone's different, and it's kind of got to find out what you want from your palette, from your wet palette. And there's a couple of parameters you can experiment with. Yeah, I think it's coming together slowly. Just gotta bring all of these parts to the same intensity. Yeah, I always kind of like to jump around these parts because, again, I wanted to experiment and see if it works at all, and then once we had the confirmation that it worked, now it's kind of catching up, or we have to catch up. After watching some decent painters, I think the #1 thing I need to improve is patience. Yeah, so again, if you want to grow as a painter, you have to be patient, because it's not about the turnover and the amount of minis you finish in a somewhat, you know, fast, kind of okay way. It's better to try new things and just have patience and try out investing some time into learning new things that take a bit longer. That's going to pay off in the end, because it's going to make you faster ultimately, right? Because you have a lot more knowledge, you know how to create gradients faster, and if you can create a sloppy gradient in the same time as a more better gradient, and again, the more you practice a gradient, the better and the faster you're going to get. So why not practice it for a while and have a better result with a bit of a time investment than the result you get while, you know, being sloppy all the time. And again, I get it that a lot of people paint for their armies and stuff like that, but just try it once. Try getting better at certain things, more proficient, maybe the better word. And then you can always let it slide again, right? You don't have to always paint that way. But I'm 100% sure if you try these things, you'll get new ideas and learn new things and just be faster overall, also with your army projects. Those bristles are crying for help. Yeah, that's a throwaway brush that I just use for, you know, obviously it's a Raphael, but that one is one that died long ago. And now it's just for stippling and creating chaotic results. Yeah, and I can still direct the highlights towards certain areas, so I definitely want some brighter color up here, and then as it curves down I want that darker, so leaving the darker parts to shine through has not only the purpose of creating texture, it also creates shadows. Some of these palette papers are meant for full-bodied acrylics, yeah, heavy-body acrylics, yeah. So they soak up with water. That can also lead to an almost wet palette where you're confused why it's not reaching that consistency. Where it sucks up the moisture in the pen. Yeah, exactly. That's why I stay away from marketed wet palettes for mini finishes. They'll lie. No, I mean, at least so I just use different paper. Because, I mean, the trays are still okay, right?
What does he do?
Thank you, Rito Shara, for joining the Patreon. But yeah, once again, guys, if you, want to be awesome, put the, like the live stream on YouTube, and it should be starting to recommend it a lot more to people. So that would help me out tremendously with, new people finding the stream, or finding the channel. That's a really good way of supporting. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribing to the channel also helps. And yeah, if you decide to join the Patreon, then you can get, it's definitely more than 150. It's closer to 160, 70 now, I think. Materials, additional videos that are focused on education, PDFs and all of that. But yeah, again, just liking the stream and liking the videos and watching the videos helps a ton, obviously. You could use unused material from YouTube videos or something. Oh yeah, sure. Exactly. To have it run in the background, but again, I mean... So I think this is kind of perfect to do, because it doesn't take that much attention to paint. Obviously, I can't quite paint a Golden Demon entry and stream. That's not going to work. But this, I think this is fine. Yeah, so for example, the elbow, I definitely need to make that darker afterwards. To have the effect be more intense. Also here, we kind of lost the effect of it.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Bend the cow. No, brand the cow. Thanks a lot. Don't bend cows, guys. But thanks a lot for the support. Yeah, everyone that joined the Patreon, or the YouTube members, or subscribe on Twitch, don't forget that you do have access to the Discord. So if you want feedback or anything on anything, you know, just talk with a bunch of like-minded people. I think we have like over 3,000 users already on the Discord. Don't forget that you have full access if you subscribe on any of the channels. Not subscribe, you know, YouTube, you get what I mean. If you support on any of the channels. Why is this chat so behind? I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of tricky to answer questions thoroughly and paint at the same time. I don't want to just go over questions, you know, and just give like cookie cutter answers. When I use synthetic brushes, the tip always gets bent in no time. Is that just the way it is? Yeah, it's the way it is. That's because the tip gets damaged a lot more, like with natural hair. Crystal likes to eat broccoli flavored yogurt. I don't know, I like yogurt flavored broccoli instead. Yakuza painting. And they don't hesitate to give an honest critic. Exactly. Oh, thank you, Limbo, for giving Gorg a sub. Thanks a lot. I live in regional Australia, not many things. Oh. Also locked down. Yeah, I heard they're screaming at you from helicopters. Is that true? To go back inside if you go out. Make a new video series go with evident metal that uses this style, maybe darker than Grimdark. Yeah, maybe. This has me wondering, how would I do this with black armor? No, so you can. Oh well, yeah. I guess a navy blue or brown transitioning to pure black. Yeah, exactly. So what that would, it would read as blue brown, right? So it's kind of tricky to do something like that. Something that is already really dark, how are we going to make that darker? So you can't really shade black. But yeah, if you're using that trick, it would work, but in my opinion, it won't read as the color you are putting on in the middle as the color. So it would read as navy blue or brown. Might I suggest some dark sea blue in your life? Exactly. This approach you're going with adds a ton of richness to the model. Exactly.
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Thanks to Servant. Thank you for joining the YouTube members. I'm going to try this on a salamander. Yeah, I want to do that with green next. So we'll see. So many Aussies here. Yeah, I guess yeah, all of you are off of work already, right? So in Europe, it's maybe, yeah, maybe right now people are coming home from work, and in the US, everyone's still asleep. My kids are too lazy to be pissed. That's funny. Do you get inspired by painters for your painting? Monet, Van Gogh, Picasso? Not at all, no. Or how would you, what's a better way to word that? Not particularly from you know, old masters. Maybe as far as using light goes, but I couldn't pick out one particular of these painters. I get inspired more by contemporary 2D artists, because they also draw science fiction stuff and or paint science fiction stuff and fantasy stuff. You know, that's more the 2D craft that inspires me. But you know, the general principles of lights and shadow, yeah, they do apply with miniature painting, of course. So you could say in a way I'm indirectly inspired by these, but I don't necessarily go and study those, no. Oh wait, oh yeah, it's really late in Australia already. It'd be cool to have a mini painted in the style of Van Gogh. Yeah, but I'm not necessarily. Oh yeah, Van Gogh. Yeah, sure. There is a couple of people that did it. Hasn't. What's his name? Would be lying. I don't want to say anything wrong. But there's someone that painted a bust in the Van Gogh style. Was it my cousins? Or those that are on Twitch? Okay, now I have a bit of texture here, and that sucks. I might have to get rid of that. Texture as in actual specks of dust. I guess it's okay. I'm not sure if anyone can see that. Right, so applying this layer, and I kind of do it to see whether or not I need to go brighter, or I want to go brighter. I guess I want to. Yeah, sorry, I'm all over the place by now. If your paint is pooling in the recesses, you might be thinning too much. Exactly. Being we are all in house arrest here in Australia, it makes sense that we're all watching. What's the take on oil paints? I'm experimenting with them to increase my efficiency for batch painting. Yeah, exactly. so I can totally see them work for that. They can also work for, of course, they can also work for showcase painting. For example, if you watch Dimitri Feziko's video on YouTube, I think he has like 1 or 2. He's doing a more showcase painting approach, and yeah, for quicker weathering, yeah, they're totally valid. Personally, I just don't like the approach, but that's, you know, just me. Not saying that it's bad or anything. I just don't want to paint like that. Because this is more fun to me. So just using acrylics and putting down something that's going to be permanent. Yeah, again, it's just like with when people ask me what I think of airbrushes. I think they're totally valid and nice tools to have. But you always also gotta realize whether or not you like a tool, and if you enjoy a tool. And I don't necessarily enjoy oil paints, but again, it doesn't mean that it's bad. Yeah, thank you, Serban. 5-minute minis. I have a couple of links in the description. You can also just go to a local electronics store. They should have them. That's where I got mine from. How do you call the glasses you're wearing? Magnifying glasses. I'm feeling that man was good to chat. Oh, okay. See you later. I tried to thin as little as possible, maybe the brush is too wet. But yeah, it seems like you guys are having conversations and I'm totally lost. Oh yeah, you are. I think that what most guides forget to say is that you need to have fun in painting, and that not everything needs to be a masterpiece. Yeah, exactly. And not everything has to be a copy of, you know, whatever people are putting out as tutorials. And yeah, especially not everything needs to be a copy of what Games Workshop puts out. Yeah, so we're totally doing bright edges afterwards. Okay, let me just clean this brush quickly. I got the Raphaels through Trevarian's channel. It has held its point admirably. Yeah, I have never really had any problems with Raphaels. I hear people saying they have problems with them. I would recommend, if you really, if it's not, you know, if it's not like after 3 months of painting and then you maybe didn't clean it enough or something like that. If the brush comes and it doesn't necessarily hold its tip, I would ask for a replacement wherever you bought it, because usually they have good quality control, and maybe you got a damaged problem. Do you read Twitch chat at all? Yeah, I do. There was no question in the last, so there was one at 21 minutes, and since then there was no question in Twitch chat. Hey Noel, pushing pigment over here. Well, there you go. Good thing. When we'll make another sculpt, I love to see you make things. Yeah, I don't necessarily have time to sculpt at the moment, unfortunately. So, most people on YouTube subscribe for the painting, so it's not really that easy to do other things than painting now. Yeah, because people kind of like the consistency. It's, yeah, once you are down one route with a channel, you kind of have to stay that route. I've got a Raphael eye paint and a pile of synthetics. Most of them I'm using the synthetics and finish off with the better ones. Yeah, I think that's a good approach. What's that magnifier thing called? He's using magnifying glasses. Hey Gorg, hey Limbo. Just dropping by to annoy you with a question. Headed off to real life. Take care. You didn't leave a question. Just, are you going to condense this video into a painting tutorial? Probably. How would you call that? What are you doing? Applying paint to a miniature. Yeah, again, that's, I mean, how would you call it when I do that with a brush? Yeah, stippling, I guess. It's a mixture of stippling and sponge technique, kind of inverted sponge technique. And then on top of that, I'm glazing, but you know, it's, how do I call it? That's the problem I have with things. If I was just focusing on one thing, I would be stuck. I could not mix the things because I need to stick to a technique. If I need to stick to a technique, then I'm screwed in this case, because I mixed a lot of techniques here, and yeah, I've been using again the sponge, been using the side of the brush. I mean, is this stippling if I do this with the broad side of the brush or a broader brush? I don't know. It's a mix, right? So it's hard to say how I would call it.
Nice to meet you.
If I were a marketing genius, like some other people are in the mini painting business, I would find a name for it and call it something fancy. But it's just mixing a lot of techniques, you know, so-called techniques. Music is over again. Let's try this one. How would you? Okay, we had that. Pirate Monkey did a really good Van Gogh style. Oh, Pirate Monkey, right. I knew it was a Twitch streamer. Me and a friend of mine have been painting every weekend. I've been watching some of your videos to get some tips here and there. Great content. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Most people who have had problems with decent quality watercolor brushes in the first place tend to abuse them, let paint dry on them. Yeah, so I don't want to say that as a general statement. It has been my experience too, but you know, some people might genuinely have problems with some Raphaels, but again, it has been super rare or non-existent for me. I don't remember ever having a bad Raphael brush, so it's tricky to say for me, right? Let's see, what else do we need to cover? I just want to switch to the sponge again for a couple of strokes. In UV painting, I have a Raphael size 1 that hasn't lived up to the recommendations. I've been sticking with Rosemary and Co. I did get the Raphael at Amazon though, so maybe it's trash. Yeah, it could be that it's damaged, but like I said, when it arrives damaged or feels like it's damaged, then you should, especially when you're getting it from Amazon, right? You should try to get a replacement. But yeah, Rosemary are perfectly fine brushes, in my opinion, or from my experience. This paint was clogged, so I had to get it out with a brush. Did you dry glazing with medium instead of water? Yeah, I don't need it, but you know, if you're a beginner and you feel like you're having difficulties with glazing, then you should definitely try glaze medium. How do you feel about contrast paints? They're not, I mean, it's always, whenever I say they suck for their initial purpose, it's people that are saying, you know, but for army painting they have so much worth. I just kind of disagree with that, even though I don't do army painting. I just don't feel like they do what they were advertised. But they have, again, for other purposes, they have pretty good properties. And like I said in the video where I paint the Blood Bowl figures, it's really an awesome color to get smooth gradients really easily. So yeah, it has a couple of also it's really nice to shade certain colors. So yeah, more like a glaze or a controlled wash consistency. They have, because they have really intense and nice colors, they work a bit more like inks in that regard. But I don't necessarily think they are good for their intended purpose. But again, people will disagree. But generally, that's people that don't necessarily have that just want to have their miniatures painted, and that's fine, right? So for gaming, just trying to be fast. But that, again, that's perfectly fine. How do you feel like, oh, we had that? Trophy bases, exactly. I had a few bad Raphaels and a few good ones. I have only painted for close to 2 years. The most durable brush has been a Vincent Newton size 1. Okay. Yeah, again. The Trovarian method. I would love to see a condensed video for future reference. Yeah, I'll do something with it. I'm waiting for mukbang content to stuff my face with something. I want to ask how long it takes you to paint the Necron from the last video. I mean, when I'm filming, I'm usually not as fast, so it's kind of tough to say. But the footage, and I tend to film everything. The footage that I had was about 5 hours, so I would say maybe 4 hours of painting if I just count the painting. And I'd say that's not that much for a really decent looking miniature. And that's why I'm crying inside when people say, oh, this takes long. I mean, I guess I get it, right? But if you did some batch painting, and if you skipped a bit on the initial layers, or worked a bit faster on these initial layers, then you could speed that up pretty nicely. Found the same thing. I got most of the range, so I could try them. Which range? I think I missed that. Just checking how this looks on the other monitor. Oh, okay, the contrast paints. I found the same thing. I got most of the range so I could try them, and I'm really enjoying my skeleton horde. Oh, really enjoying only skeleton horde. Yeah. Alright, so contrast paints are great for shading true metallic metal. Yeah, also true, or at least I agree. Have you ever considered taking up beekeeping? No, I didn't. I enjoy contrast paints and transparent inks a lot with my airbrush or with volumetric coloring. Yeah, again, it works like inks in that regard, and it also gives a really smooth finish because it takes a while for them to dry. So. But yeah, guys, I'll be hopping off. That was 3 hours of stream. Not quite, not exactly 3 hours, because we started a bit later, but yeah, I need to get some other things done. There'll be another video next week, hopefully on Friday. I'll try my best. Thanks a lot for watching, thanks a lot for liking videos, thanks a lot for supporting, subscribing on Patreon and stuff. But yeah, again, if you want to support me, you can subscribe and watch my videos. Subscribe on YouTube, that is, and watch my videos. That's the best support. Yeah, if you want to support me monetary and help me make new videos and more videos, Patreon is a good way, even if it's just $1 or $2. Yeah. Other than that, I'll be back again with a video next week. Yeah, you can check my Instagram for regular updates, and I guess that's it. Have a good weekend. You too, thank you. When are you going to join the battle between Midwinter Minis and Squidma for the biggest model painted? That's all publicity stunts, right? That way you can put biggest Warhammer model and most expensive Warhammer model into your titles. I don't know, I'm not about that. I should be, but I'm not, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, thanks again guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll try to stream more, but I've not been super motivated to stream everything I do. But I could, you know, record a bit and stream at the same time. But we'll see. I'll try to stream a bit more than just the regular Friday streams. I just got here. Damn. Okay, guys. Thanks again. Bye bye.